Now there is no doubt that we are bringing more and more gear as we head out. I get a lot of feedback from the YouTube videos that I create here, and a lot of people saying that maybe I bring a little bit too much gear and don't camp in the traditional definition of it. However, what I like to remember is that camping for us is not the occasional weekend away, but more of a lifestyle. It's something that we do often, and soon enough we'll be living out of this cruiser and a new van full time. Given that we also take 2 young children with us as well, in order to resemble some sort of comfort and enjoyment, modifying and adding some of the niceties to the cruiser is something that is going to make our life a little bit easier on the road. So those who have been watching my channel for a little while now know that my cruiser has a lot of niceties and modifications on it that make life on the road that little bit easier, and my favourite, convenient. You can pull up anywhere, anytime, and in a matter of minutes have lunch and a beer on the go and just enjoy the serenity of nature. But this all comes with a price: weight. And no, I'm not referring to the weight of that beer and lunch. I've added a lot of modifications onto the cruiser here to make life a lot easier, be able to access my storage, my gear and equipment. I carry onboard water and the ability to drive over 1,200 kilometers without stopping for refueling. Today we're going to be weighing the cruiser both laden and unladen to see how quickly this gear adds up and to see what we can do in the future to accommodate some towing and make sure we're all safe and legal. So let's talk about some figures. This here is a 2014 Toyota Landcruiser 200 series. It's got a 4.5 litre V8 twin turbo diesel engine and it is the Sahara spec. So this vehicle here rolls out of the factory weighing a tare weight of 2,740 kilos. So what that means is that's the weight of the vehicle ready to run but with no load. Now when you buy the vehicle, it gets stamped with a compliance plate telling me that I'm not allowed to load this vehicle over 3,350 kilos, and this is referred to as a stock GVM or gross vehicle mass. So this tells us that we have a load carrying capacity of 610 kilos in the cruiser. Sounds like a lot, right? But this isn't including modifications, luggage, or even a driver in the vehicle. Now I knew that weights were always going to be an issue on this cruiser, so when I bought it I had a GVM upgrade put inside the vehicle. This means that we have upgraded certain components, a majority of them suspension components, that the Department of Transport recognised to be able to safely handle an upgraded GVM of 3,845 kilos. So with this new GVM amount, this brings the load carrying capacity or the payload of the vehicle up to 1,105 kilos. Surely that's going to be enough, right? And before we move on to the results of the weigh-in, I want to briefly talk about some of the accessories mounted to the Landcruiser. So on the exterior at the front of the vehicle here, we have an ARB steel bull bar. This is a full bar with hoops as well, and it roughly weighs about 80 kilos. Inside the front of the bar here, we have a 12,000 pound carbon winch, which is one of the lightest winches you can get on the Australian market, weighing in at about 23 kilos. We have your standard pair of spotlights as well, and a couple of UHF antennas. Now moving down the side of the vehicle, there isn't too much to comment on here. On the driver's side, we do have a snorkel fitted. This is just a stock standard Safari R-Max plastic snorkel. We don't have any aftermarket rock sliders or side steps, and we're still running the factory alloy systems there. We are running some aftermarket wheels though. Now aftermarket wheels and tyres is something that I think is often overlooked when considering the weights of your vehicle. Here I'm running an 18 by 9 inch alloy method racing wheel, and that's wrapped in a BF Goodrich all-terrain tyre, size 305/65/18, which comes in just a little under 34 inch. Now adding 5 of these to the cruiser and replacing the stock standard rims, I'm adding 47 kilos of weight to the vehicle, and that's mostly unsprung weight, meaning that it's not carried by the suspension of the vehicle. So something very important to consider when upgrading wheels and tyres. So moving on to the rear of the vehicle here, and we can see we've added a few accessories, primarily this single spare wheel carrier. This here is on a single swing away mount, which is just a steel bracket attached to a mechanism behind the plastic bumper. Now having this single swing away like it is here is definitely going to save some weight as opposed to a full steel wraparound bar and dual swing away carriers. The reason we have the tyre mounted up here is because up underneath the vehicle we have a steel long range tank made by the Long Ranger. That allows us to carry 215 litres of diesel and 55 litres of water, which is extremely useful out on the tracks, but also adding it to that weight. Okay, so moving on into the inside of the rear of the cargo area, we can see we have a fairly comprehensive touring setup in the back of the Landcruiser. We started off with a set of custom drawers and fridge slide from Custom Installations, weighing in at approximately 60 kilos. I've also built a custom plywood fridge surround box with an extendable drawer and a couple of storage areas, and that weighs between 14 and 15 kilos without any gear inside. Running down the driver's side of the custom system here, we have a Emu Wing storage box as well that weighs about 11 kilos. Now, although we've got a fair bit of weight adding up in the back of the Cruiser here, we do have to keep in mind that we did remove the third row seats from the Cruiser. Now, these come in at about 45 kilos there, so we've negated some of the weight added. So moving on onto the interior of the vehicle here, and we haven't got anything in here that's going to add a significant amount of weight. We're running standard accessories like aftermarket floor mats, a Garmin Overlander GPS, a couple of UHFs, a Red Arc Tow Pro system, and some basic electrical wiring to support some of the aftermarket modifications added on. So let's check out what we've got underneath the bonnet. So moving on to the engine bay, we've got a couple of things in here that might add a little bit of weight. We do have a standard dual battery system. We've got a deep cycle battery here on the driver's side, and we've got an aftermarket cranking battery on the passenger side. Now, although we do have dual batteries in the Cruiser, keep in mind that the 200 series Landcruisers do come with dual battery systems from factory. So although we have upgraded them with slightly bigger and higher capacity batteries, it's not going to be adding a significant amount of weight. We also have some aftermarket accessories for the wiring and a fuse block mounted up in the top corner on the passenger side, along with an aftermarket fuel filter. And we do have a catch can here on the driver's side and the water filler for our water tank in the rear of the vehicle. Otherwise, weight-wise, we're looking at a pretty standard engine bay here. So closing down the bonnet, we can also see up on top of the roof up there, we have an Rhino Rack Alloy Pioneer platform roof rack system. Now, although it is an Alloy Pioneer tray, it does also save some weight over some of the steel alternatives, but weighs in at about 35 kilos. Now, to that, on the passenger side, we also have our ARB 2.5 meter awning. We do have a couple of max tracks up there, which do generally stay on there from day-to-day driving, and a couple of kilos worth of semi-flexible solar panels. So not a huge amount of weight, but something that has to be considered. So I think it's fair to say that when you look at my vehicle, you can well and truly tell that it's been modified. However, I wouldn't say it's extreme. And with that 1.1 tonne of payload capacity with the upgraded GVM, surely I'm going to be right and be looking at some comfortable figures. Now, in order to accurately understand some of the weight limits of my vehicle, I'm going to roll over the weighbridge today on 2 occasions. The first one is going to be completely unladen. This is going to be the vehicle empty of all gear and anything that isn't bolted or integrated into part of the vehicle. And the second time is going to be fully loaded up for a family camping trip away with everybody and everything loaded onto the vehicle. So let's go see how we go. So this is when I start to get a little bit nervous because I empty out the vehicle completely. We remove the fridge, we empty the drawers, the tools, the side wing kits, the Emu box, the kid seats are removed, and everything is removed from the door pockets, center console, and the glove box. It doesn't matter how many times I do this, I'm always surprised about how much stuff comes out of the vehicle, even when it is only used as a daily driver. So it's time to hit the road and fuel up. We're going to weigh the vehicle empty, but still with a full tank of fuel and 55 litres of water on board. There's no point in having these big tanks if we aren't going to use them. So filling up the water tank and topping up the 215 litre diesel tanks, and we're ready to go. At the local weighbridge, 5 minutes later, and we're done. So the vehicle's been weighed, the results are in, and with a completely empty vehicle, a full tank of fuel, a full water tank, and just myself in the vehicle, we came in at 3,540 kilos. Now this has got to show you that even if you only slightly modify your Landcruiser 200 series, you're going to have to upgrade the suspension and hopefully get a GVM upgrade to go with that in order to remain safe and legal on the road. As we sit completely empty with nothing in the vehicle, we are sitting at almost 200 kilos over that stock GVM. Now moving forward, I already see a couple of issues with this before we load it up for our second weigh. However, let's get this vehicle weighed up for our family camping trip, everything on board, get all of our passengers in, and see how we go again. Now this is the setup that we've been using for the last year or so while we wait for our new van. Everything we carry is loaded into or onto the vehicle. With all of our equipment, recovery gear, tents, luggage, and the wife and kids, we head back to the same weighbridge to see the difference. Now to say that I'm anxious is an understatement. I'm resigned to the fact that we're probably going to be overweight, but the question is, by how much? So we've been weighed, fully loaded now, everything and everyone on board, and we've come in at 4,040 kilos. So yes, we've tipped the scales there at 4 ton, and we are definitely overweight. Probably not by quite as much as I thought we're going to be, but nonetheless, still overweight. So maybe it's time for that diet after all. Now I do have some relief to this issue, which I'll talk about in just a moment, but all jokes aside, this is going to have a couple of consequences moving forward. The first issue I'm going to have is I do have a big trip planned next year. Now, although the family is not coming with me on this trip, I'm still taking a lot of gear and loading the vehicle up for an extended period away. So I'm going to have to closely monitor the weights to try and get under that safe legal limit of 3.845 tonne. Now the second issue is going to be towing. Although we don't tow at the moment, when we get our new van, we have to include the towable downbore weight, which goes onto the back of the vehicle into the vehicle's GVM. Now granted, we're going to be moving a lot of our gear from the vehicle to the van, or not even carrying it at all, things like tents and excessive sleeping gear. However, we have to make room for this in our payload. Now the second issue with towing is going to be the GCM, or the gross combined mass. This is the weight of the vehicle and the van put together. This 2014 Cruiser can only have a GCM of 6.8 tonne. So this means that if we load this vehicle up to 3,845 kilos at its legal GVM, we can only tow something that weighs just under 3 tonne. Now I'm not going to give away the ATM of our new van just yet, but it's something that you have to consider if you're looking at upgrading the GVM of your vehicle and maxing it out while also towing a van. So like I mentioned, I do have a couple of points of relief, both for a short-term fix and a longer-term solution as well. Although it might not be ideal, it's definitely going to be a start. Firstly, I don't need to carry 215 litres of diesel on board, particularly for our local trips or trips where I have access to fuel. So just managing with 100 or 120 litres of fuel, just as we were with standard quantities, will be enough and will take away almost 100 kilos of weight straight away. Further, the ability to drop that fresh water if we have to as well will also save us another 55 kilos for those local trips where we're not heading out remote and requiring everything to be on the vehicle. Now the second, more longer term solution is that some of you may be aware I have a stage 2 ARB of GVM upgrade kit installed in this vehicle. So that means that I have some heavy duty springs in the rear and I have 400 kilo constant rear springs in the back, along with a few other components that are ARB installed and certified for that GVM upgrade. Frustratingly, not too long after I had this kit installed and certified, ARB released that this particular kit with the same components was now certified for a GVM of 4,015 kilos. So although I haven't been certified for that yet, I am making some progress and some inquiries as how to get this vehicle re-inspected or at least updated so that I can run the same componentry at that 4,015 kilo GVM mark. So weighing the vehicle today has sure been an eye-opener, and the results had varied significantly from when I last documented and weighed the Cruiser back in January 2020. The most influential changes I've done to the vehicle have been this rear setup here with the long-range steel tank installed and this spare wheel carrier. So obviously that's made a significant difference, but it has been combined with some little modifications along the way. Now, since installing these items, I've also realized that I've been using higher pressures in my airbags in the rear suspension to maintain that stiffer or more accurate ride. So what I'm going to be doing now is, now that I've confirmed that excessive weight in the back of the Cruiser, I'm going to upgrade the springs from that 400 kilo constant rating to a 600 kilo spring. This will just help keep the back of the car a little bit more rigid and be more appropriate for the weight the Cruiser's now at. Now, although this is a topic that I'm sure we don't like to talk about, particularly if in a situation like I am and you're just outside of those regulations temporarily, however, I believe it's the responsibility of us as four-wheel drive owners to make sure that we know our weight limits, our loading capacities, and the overall weights and handling of our vehicle. Not only is this important from a legal standpoint, but also from a safety aspect. Overall, there is to some degree a reason as to why they put these figures onto our vehicles, and not only affects you and your family, but also all the road users out on there to ensure that we all get to our final destinations safely. I'm sure there are tens of thousands of vehicles and thousands upon thousands of Landcruisers driving out there overweight, with drivers who are completely unaware of the limits and how much gear affects those weight ratings. So I'd love to hear some of your experiences, particularly with those who have modified their vehicles and have different types of setups. Maybe you have a tinny on the roof and an outboard on one of the carriers on the back, or you tow an ultra heavy van. Let us know how you've gone about managing and mitigating some of those weight factors in the comments section below. But guys, I hope you managed to get some good information from this video, and hope I've managed to raise some awareness as to how quickly these weights can add up, even when you do have over a ton of loading capacity like I do, when modifying for convenience. But guys, I thank you for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. It does help the channel out significantly. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll make sure we'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.